Welcome back in the hall, episode 81. Finally getting this out. It's about 12:30 a.m. here on a Monday. So hopefully this will be edited and uploaded by the time you wake up for your morning commute or however you listen to this show. Before we get started, I want to let you know I will be at the Orlando Improv February 20th. Tickets are online, $15, but if you enter in the code VEGAS at checkout, they're free. So you heard it here. Very excited to be performing on the main stage. I've only performed in the, you got like a wing, like another stage outside of the club. Not outside, but you know, in this other bar area. Got a lot of friends and family coming. A lot of them who haven't seen me perform live. They've just seen the best of, you know, clips here and there on Instagram and YouTube. So a little bit of pressure. You know, normally I don't like knowing anybody in the crowd. That way I can just do my thing, say what I want to say, and I don't have to, you know, it's just, you don't want to bomb in front of people you know. Not that I'm saying that I'm going to bomb, but it is a possibility, as always. So yeah, a little bit of pressure. But bombing on stage in front of people you know is still not as bad as getting knocked out in front of people you know. Gary and I talk about this all the time. Boxing, UFC, probably like the worst sport to take an L. You know, you bomb on stage in front of people, at least you can sit in the parking lot with your girlfriend and she can console you like, oh, it's not that bad. It's one show. It's not going to make or break your career. Yeah, you can drive to the store, get a chocolate cake, drown your feelings. But you can't do that in the UFC. When you get driven to the hospital in an ambulance and the doctor tells you you have a orbital fracture. Hey, your face is broken. At least in comedy, you can just go home and cry. So yeah, Vegas at checkout for free tickets. Got a lot of stage time this week to prepare for that. Shout out to Joe Sensabella. He threw me up on stage, gave me about 20 minutes at this bar show so I could just shake the cobwebs off. I've been focusing on the digital side of comedy, as you guys know. A lot of sketches, skits, bits, whatever you want to call it. I'm Sean Madden on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Check them out. Been just cranking them out. And then doing the podcast episodes. So a little bit late here, but again, I am writer, director, producer, editor, chief of staff, whatever you want to call it. Eventually, man, I'll have someone that does all the editing for me. That way I can just keep everything super consistent and on schedule. But, you know, right after I'm done here, it'll be about 2 a.m. and I'll edit all my own stuff. Not complaining, just saying it's a lot. Yeah, had a lot of fun the other night, man. I was doing a lot of crowd work. Not normally my forte. Usually I like to do my pre-written stuff and bounce. But the bar shows are a little different. Some of them get rowdy. People watching sports games don't really give a shit about comedy night. So I just had to go into the crowd and start roasting people, start bodying motherfuckers. There's this guy who kept yelling at the stage all night at the other comics. He was wearing like a jean jacket. No one even knew what he was saying. He was just drunk. He was like, and I said, yo, Jussie Smollett, how'd you get out of prison? This dude looked exactly like Jussie Smollett, the guy who faked a hate crime, I guess is how you would describe it. And he sobered up quick after that one. It's amazing how people change their attitude when they realize that they're not immune to consequences of just rambling during the show. And yeah, he was pissed, bro, because it would have been fine, but his friends turned on him. They were like, yo, bro, you do look like Jussie Smollett. So yeah, that was that. Hope everything was great with your week. I ended up in my hometown of Bradenton, Florida. I was actually talking to, it's funny, man, at these shows, these bars, whatever, there's always somebody from Bradenton, Florida in the crowd. And I was just like, yo, anyone here from Bradenton? And like 4 people at the bar were like, yeah, we are. And I was like, yeah, I could tell by your neck tattoos. It was just fun to like, fuck with them. But yeah, I ended up in Bradenton this week. There's a spot called the Rice Bowl, which is this banging. Did I just say that? It's a banging freaking sushi spot. They serve everything there. But we had the server. All right, so we walk in. There's signs all over the windows. We're short-staffed. Please be patient. Hiring all positions. And so our server comes over, and she's like, hi, welcome to the Rice Bowl. And, that was fine until I looked at her in the eyes and realized she was a white lady. There was a white lady serving me at this Asian place, which I don't mind, but she was doing an Asian accent. So I had to do a double take. And I'm looking at Chip like, we're looking at each other like, yo, this is a white lady doing an Asian accent. And she probably got interviewed at the place, and they're like, hey, look, we usually only hire Asians to work here, but since we're so desperate for employees, we'll hire this white lady, but the only catch is you have to do an Asian accent to keep it authentic. Guys, I'm not making this up. The reason why I haven't slept this week is because I've been up in bed going, what happened? I'm just in shock. This white lady comes over. Everyone's wearing a mask, but you can still tell she ain't Asian. So she comes over and she's like, can I get you anything to drink? You need water? You want to try chicken Mongolian style? And every time she turned her back to go get a refill, I'd go, Chip, this is a fucking white lady. Dude, she's white. And he's like, I know. And I'm like, well, what do we do? I almost asked her for her ID. I'm like, let me see. I'm like, if your name is Rebecca Smith, I'm going to be pissed. The whole time, she's just doing this Asian accent. She started talking about her kids. And I'm like, we know you're white. You can knock it off. Dude, it was so, I want to say hilarious, but it was also, I'm looking around like, is anybody else seeing this shit right now? Does anybody else notice this? She's like, you want a California roll or you want a salmon spicy tuna roll? Dude, I would wait tables for the rest of my life if I could do an Asian accent. God, that would be so funny if I could just troll people with zero consequences. I'd walk right up to the table. Welcome to the Rice Bowl. What can I get for you? People are like, are you? I'd be like, yes, I am white. I am a white man, but I am going to talk like this. So funny, bro. I'm in traffic just like, that was a white lady. 4 a.m., I'm looking at the ceiling just going, I can't believe that was a real interaction that we had. And it makes sense, dude. I mean, because the Asian places, like you go to a Mexican restaurant, there's never, like, I'm talking about a real Mexican restaurant. You want a guy that comes up and barely knows English, but this lady was just, I got kids to feed. I'm committing to the Asian accent. If that's what they need from me, if that's what I need to do to keep my job, then I'm going to freaking Asian it up. And she did a hell of a job. She never broke character. So I felt like tipping her extra just for the commitment. And she nailed every single word with an Asian accent. You want a pink lemonade? Or you want you need check? 1 or 2 check? Separate check? Killed it, bro. Incredible. Shout out to Rebecca. I forget what name she said, but I'm like, yeah, that ain't your name. She's like, Mom, my name is Ping. I'm like, you mean Pam? Unbelievable, dude. Next topic. I drove by, you guys know what sign spinners are, right? The people that hold like, car wash, car wash next right. You know, they like spin a sign, usually for like insurance or like, tax returns. I guess there's like a rule. I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in Florida there's like a rule where you can't have like a company can't put a sign in the grass. So they hire people, usually like 10, 13 bucks an hour, to stand out front of the business or like the intersection and spin a sign. But this guy or girl, I don't know, was in a penguin costume spinning a sign for an insurance company. And it wasn't even like Arctic Insurance or like North Pole Insurance or Penguin Insurance. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a random ass costume for life insurance. And I was like, dude, not only is spinning a sign not the best job in the world. I mean, yeah, you can listen to your headphones, but you're standing in the heat for $13 an hour twirling a sign. And on top of that, you're in a penguin costume, a black penguin suit, just sweating your ass off. And I was like, all right, at what point in the interview do they throw the penguin costume at you? Is it after you got hired where they're like, hey, you know, you seem like you're a young, motivated guy and, you know, it seems like you could use the money. We'd love to have you spinning a sign for us out there. And you're like, oh, gee, thank you so much. And they go, oh, by the way, put this on. And you're like, well, why do I have to wear that? It's not even Arctic Insurance. And they go, hey, put the penguin costume on or you're fired. And you're like, well, I guess I'll wear the penguin costume. Oh, man. How much money would it take for you to rock the penguin suit? I don't know. I'm going with $200K. $200K I'll throw on the penguin suit and spin a sign for 8 hours a day. And the reason why I say that is because it's not an easy job. Okay, you're basically just in a sweatsuit. You're going to lose a lot of weight. You need to eat a lot if you're going to be doing that. You know, I know there's probably some meth head in there who has nothing to lose. But I was just dying laughing, bro. I'm like, a penguin costume? It's random. I guess it's eye-catching. Like, hey, why is there a giant penguin? Oh, it's an insurance company. That's odd. But I just want to know, do they open with that? Hey, you know, is that in the job description on Indeed.com? By the way, penguin suit required. Or is it just, hey, you're hired? Oh, by the way, let me get you your uniform. You're like, uniform? They go, yeah, we like all our sign spinners to be in a penguin costume. Ugh, it's still probably soaked from the guy who quit like an hour before your interview. They're like, yeah, Randy just quit, but we didn't get a chance to wash it. Sorry. Quality of the sketches is going up. I got the iPhone 13 cinematic mode. Let's go, baby. The only reason I got the phone was because my iPhone 10 was violently slammed into a truck door. I was driving Chip's truck, and I jumped into the driver's seat. And as I am closing the door, my phone falls out of my pocket, and it was just timed perfectly. I wouldn't have minded if I closed the door and the phone bounced off the door, or I dropped the phone and it hit the parking lot before I closed the door. But no, the timing on this was so beautiful. Just slammed the door, the truck door closed with the phone. So now I have an L-shaped iPhone. It looks like one of those new Samsungs where like, oh, look, it flips. Except for it's just a permanent L shape. Just bent the entire frame. It still works. Except for if you hit the side button, it calls 911. It goes into like emergency mode. Happened a few times. Nobody came or anything. So that's good to know that feature works great. Not even like a callback. Like, hey, are you all right? It just makes a weird noise. So yeah, I had to upgrade. I guess that's the universe telling you need a new phone. You know, I was trying to hold off. Had that thing for a while. That was the iPhone X, the basic one. And I usually have phones until till the wheels fall off or everything breaks on it. But in this case, I couldn't have done this if I tried. Like it was like a trick shot of just destruction. Oh, I was, we were headed to get food one night, and there was a car teetering on the curb in this drainage ditch, like rocking back and forth. And we were like, oh, that's odd, and just drove by it. I'm like, how do you even do that? How do you get into a cartoon-like situation of seesawing back and forth on a curb? Like the front wheels were hanging off and the back wheels were in the street of this little Toyota Camry. And we went to the restaurant. It closed at 9. So we're like, all right, let's go somewhere else. So we drive back by the teetering car, and we're just like, what in the hell is this? Like, it's right next to a police station. There's no cops. No one's like helping this car. And we're like, well, dude, let's see if there's someone in it. I'm like, well, someone could have had a heart attack and just, fell asleep at the wheel. A drunk guy? No one knows. So we pull up. It's sketchy because it's super dark. There's no street lights. But again, there's a police station right there. And so we pull up and Chip's like, hey, we see someone in there. So we're like, hey, are you all right? And this really old lady rolls down her window and goes, I'm fine. Help is on the way. And dude, I am dying laughing. Like, we're like, are you all right? Like, what? How did this even happen? And then I'm like, well, should we help her? Like, should we try and push the car back onto the road? And this is me, having a good heart. And I probably would have had Chip not been like, nah, dude, that's not a smart move. God forbid you push it and the car comes back. You're not going to be able to catch a Camry, and then you're going to get crushed into a drainage ditch. I'm like, yeah, it's probably right. You don't want to make the local news as a hero, being crushed by a Camry. We talked about this. That'd probably be the worst way to go, being crushed by a car that's not even nice. I'm not saying the Camry's not a good car. I know it lasts long, but I don't want to open casket with the Toyota logo on my forehead. So he's like, yeah, probably not a good idea. You should just, she'll wait for help, have a truck pull her out. But I was just weird. I'm like, there's a police station right here, and no one's serving and protecting. I don't know. I'm not for taking anyone's license. I know there's people in Florida like, every old person should get their license revoked. And I'm like, look, man, if you're old and you can still drive, great. But if you're in a cartoon situation where you're balancing on a curb, like, dude, I honestly don't know how she got herself into this situation. She must have just been going 10 miles an hour. I don't know if she was looking at her flip phone, trying to figure out how to call somebody and veered off the road. But she was just balancing perfect on the curb. It was like a skateboarder doing a 50-50 grind. Or no, not a 50, a board slide. Sorry, I've been out of the skate game for a while. But yeah, she was just like balanced. It was just so funny. Yeah, I guess then you can take their license, right? If you get yourself into that situation, they just knock on the window like, hey, ma'am, just hand me your license. And yeah, it's pretty much it. Short little episode. Just want to let you guys know about the show coming up. Get your tickets. And I didn't really watch the news this week. I know Rogan's getting a bunch of shit. It's all bullshit. And yeah, just kind of kept my head in the sand. Stayed focused. Didn't look at any articles. But feel free to send them inthehallpodcast@gmail.com. I'll read anything you guys send. It would definitely help the show. I've had a couple people send articles before, Adam, and that was cool. Speaking of Adam, shout out to Trill Trees, located at 2000 Cotner, and many other shops in the Los Angeles area. Tell them Sean sent you and get 10% off your order. And I'll also be in LA the 12th through the 16th. I'm going there to get as much stage time as possible before February 20th. Again, I want to make it. I just want to be sharp for the show. Yeah, didn't really watch the news this week at all or research anything. Yeah, people are like, oh, why don't you talk about COVID anymore, this and that. And it's like, dude, all 2020, 2021, I talked about COVID and vaccines and all that stuff. And all that happened was my Instagram account got completely destroyed. I had about 16,000 followers. The Laugh Factory posted my clips on Instagram, their Instagram. They have 1.5 million followers, so I got a huge boost. And everything was going great. And, yeah, started posting about COVID, and I said it leaked from a lab long before that came out, and no one backed me. I had a few people going, yeah, you're right, bro, you're right. But for the most part, my account just got shadow banned and destroyed. So that's why I no longer talk about anything like that, because I worked too hard to get it destroyed from something like that. You know, I like speaking the truth. Don't get me wrong. But no one backed me up. Other accounts, other people spoke out. You know, what was that guy? Ian Smith Fitness, who has the gym in New Jersey. He got like 300,000 followers. He was selling merch left and right. What did I get? Fucking demolished. So, thanks. But yeah, that'll do it for episode 81. I will see you guys later on in this week. And be on the lookout for all the skits and sketches. And leave a review, like, share, subscribe. Everything helps. I feel like a homeless guy when I say that. I should be holding a cardboard sign that says In the Hall Podcast. Anything helps. So yeah, thanks for being here. I will see you guys later on in the week.
You want to smoke something?
You've seen him perform all over LA. Give it up for Sean Madden, everybody.
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
This joke's not gonna go well.